Getting started on the oven. I took everything off the top and give it a good scrub. I use one of these brushes. I like these. I don't remember what they're called. Oh, cedar brushes, I think, for, kitchen. They're not super stiff, so don't scratch. Okay, this is ready to start. I cleaned up the top. I wiped down the inside of crumbs, so that nothing would flame in there, because it will happen. I used power wash on this as a pre-wash, but it didn't take off the grease at all. So maybe after it washes, self-cleans, maybe it'll do it again and maybe more will come off. You know what happens right after you clean your oven? You dump a casserole in it as you're putting it in the oven to cook. It's like when you wash your car and it rains. Not really, but I have done that. Everything's back together now. I took this part off and I scrubbed them, and I took these off and scrubbed them, and I did that part, and then it's not perfect, but it's better than it was. It looks kind of ashy in there, doesn't it? I took these out and scrubbed these, believe it or not. I scrubbed the door. It was a lot worse. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was. You still can't really see through it. Let me see if I can turn the light on there. You can see my feet. You can kind of see through it, but not really, because there's this mesh in between the glass, So that is that. And the whole story. Hi everybody, it's late, it's after 9, and I had this in the bedroom. It came earlier. It was from Amazon. And so I'll just show you what I got. At 2 of these large containers. They're the same brand that I use for leftovers, the Rubbermaid Brilliance. I really, really like this brand. They last for years and years. They go to the dishwasher, the microwave, the freezer, they're fine. So I got one for flour, one for sugar, and I got these little scoops, and this is a 1/2 cup scoop, and I'll leave them in here. I'm going to wash these up so they're dry tomorrow morning, and I can put the sugar and flour in them. And how many cups does it hold? I think 8 or something. 16 cups. So it's not going to hold all the flour that I have in a Rubbermaid, an old-fashioned 1980s Rubbermaid, but it'll work. It'll be out on the counter. It'll be easier to handle, easier to scoop from, that kind of thing. So there's that. And I got an extra scoop, which I maybe will put in the brown sugar holder that I have. And then I got 6 of these. They came as a set, and they're daily planners. And so they help you to plan your day and what you'd like to get done. And each one of these is 1 day in a month. And there's schedule, top priorities, the date, your water intake, things you might want to move to another day, notes, and what you're grateful for. And so I'll show you an empty page. They're what the picture shows on the front, and they're just different colors along the top. So green, blue, pink, and purple. I thought they were kind of nice to try. And on that same topic, Netflix original series. This part I had no idea, so I'll have to look and watch. The Home Edit Workbook. Prompts, exercises, and activities to help you contain the chaos. So I do have a problem with chaos. I leave things out. I leave things undone. Laundry is my big struggle. And let's see what else. Just leaving things laying around and not putting them away. So this has got prompts for your kitchen, living room, bathroom, bedroom, office, laundry, guest room, mudroom, playroom, entryway. What else? Oh, anyway. So it's got things in here to help you to get it together, girl. So I'm looking forward to working in this. And then I got some, these are, they're supposed to be autumn, notepads. So I'm not sure. Yeah, it's got acorns, so I'll give them that. That's autumn, and that looks autumn. What are these? Pumpkins. Supposedly. Are they pumpkins? No, they're flowers. And these are pumpkins. More of that in a different color. More of that in a different color. They didn't do a great job with these, but they're just notepads, so they're fine. So those. They're just, you know, creative things to have. And then I've got two more things here. These are for my crafting. Just some sparklies in different colors and little, really I have no idea what this is for, but I do know these are to get the sparklies out. Anybody know what you do with these parts? Because I do not. And lastly are some brads shaped like gingerbread men. And that was my Amazon delivery. He got here at 7 and I'm just now opening it because I was busy putting the stove back together. It's done. Let me show you. I wanted to show you real quick that I'm changing over my sugar and my flour. So I've had these for years and years and years, and they're underneath that cupboard right there, and so it's a scoot to get to it. And so I've been hoping to keep them right here on the countertop, like far back. I'm gonna move things around and stuff so that they're easy to grab and use and pull out of. The scoops are in there. Then I'm also changing other things into glass. I'm gonna, like the bread flour, I've ordered 2 more of these. I need one for bread flour. I need one for light brown sugar because this is dark brown sugar. I need a bigger one for raw sugar, maybe, maybe not. I definitely need a bigger one for powdered sugar. I barely got it all in there. Let's see, what else have I got? Oh, this is the AP flour. Oh, yesterday's plastic container. I don't like to store my seasonings in plastic, you know, because they last a long time. I usually get them in glass. I just don't know what I was thinking. But here, poultry seasoning. I put it in a glass container and labeled it so it'll go with the other stuff. And then this is potato starch. So it's just, I won't use that much in 10 years. So there's that. Welcome to dinner. So it's, is it noon? It's 12:27, so I need to get this going quick, especially the rolls. I want to make rolls to go with it. I have a little bit of this pot roast left. It was a Mississippi pot roast. I'm just going to chop it up. I got this out of my freezer. It's needing to be cooked up. It's probably not the best quality, and that's why I'm using it for stew, flat iron steak. I'm going to put this in here with some oil, and just to get it nice and, you know, browned up. I'm going to stick it in the microwave to defrost it first, and then I'm going to chop this up, put it in there. I'm going to try this Kinder's stew seasoning that I just bought. I got some canned broth. This is a use it or lose it kind of thing again. I've got some canned carrots and some baby Dutch potatoes, and I think I'm gonna need to cut some of these roots off of them. They're fine. They're solid and everything. But if they're not, I have these left. They're just bigger, and I thought it'd be easier to use the small potatoes in this. So that's going to be dinner, beef stew and rolls. I had to get those rolls out of the freezer. I went out there, and instead of getting the rolls, I went and found the beef broth and everything. I've got a pat of butter and some olive oil in this pan, and that is the chopped up flat steak. I got it so it wasn't frozen solid in the microwave, but not all the way cooked, obviously. And now I'll cook it in here. And I am busy chopping up the leftover Mississippi pot roast. That'll go in with the steak as soon as the steak is a little bit more done. I added the pot roast to the flat iron steak, and I put in the whole can of Great Value beef broth. I need to go to the butcher shop and get some butcher bones, some beef bones, so I can make some, because though I don't like it for sipping like I do chicken bone broth, I do use it for cooking, and it's expensive when you add it all up, and if you can just buy bones and do it yourself. So okay, I only added half of this because it's not 2.5 pounds of meat like it said it should be. So stir that in, put a lid on it, and just leave it on long enough for me to get the potatoes ready, and I'll put the potatoes in with this so that they'll soften. And then after that, all I gotta do is pour in these canned carrots. Well, I'll drain them first because I don't want that, whatever water that is. All right, potatoes are in. And it was boiling, but the potatoes stopped it for a minute. I had enough of the small ones, but I did take 2 of the big ones out and cut those up too, just because, extra taters, always welcome. So I'm going to put a lid on this and probably give it, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, maybe 20, and see how, maybe I'll give them 15 for sure. See how soft they turn out before I give them longer. The potatoes are done. They're nice and tender, but not mushy at all. And so I added the carrots. I knew if I put the carrots in too soon, they would go mushy fast because they start out pretty doggone soft. So I'm going to bring this up to a simmer, and then I'm going to thicken it and see how that goes, because it's not thick really at all. I realized that I didn't share how I plan to thicken it. So I've got that bowl, got a little cup of water. I used some brown gravy mix and about the same amount of the cornstarch. And I'm just going to whisk it together. And then I'm going to put it in while this is simmering over here. It's just beginning to simmer. Sorry for that noise, that's probably irritating. Whisked it together and it's in, and as it simmers, it'll thicken up. And that'll be the stew for tonight with leftovers and whatnot. Okay, last shot. It's done. It's nice and thick. And I just have to bake the bread, the rolls, and that's how it'll get served. If you saw anything you liked anything you saw, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Thanks, everybody.